Good morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to this week's episode of The Feed. Special episode this week. We have Mike and Marty, our usual people, Alex, who joined us last week, and this week, live from Westminster in his man cave bunker, Floyd Lawrence. Yay!
Yay!
So we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to do some serious stuff, and then we're going to just ramble on. So I think we're going to start. I think we decided to start with Marty.
Yeah.
Is that or Floyd?
No,
Marty.
I think I'm going to start with breaking news.
Yeah. Breaking news.
So I have some breaking news this morning. I just saw on Facebook that the Central Elementary School, the teachers, are going to be doing a parade today. They're going to be starting at 2 p.m. Down on George Street, and then they're going to go, the teachers are all going to be in their cars, and they're going to parade through town. They're going to end up at the high school. It's to give some support to the kids that are home, and I think it's an awesome idea. And the very first thing that they put on their post was, please make sure you practice social distancing. So I don't mean to be negative Nelly, because I usually try to be the cheerleader, but here's the thing, folks, this shit is real. There are people in the community who have it. It's not like it hasn't hit us yet. It's here. And so just keep that in mind. Like I talked about last week, act as if the person next to you has it. Act as if the person in the grocery store has it, and keep that 6-foot distance. There's going to be temptation to, maybe get closer to talk to your neighbor if you're out waiting for the teachers to come by. Great, you can talk to your neighbor, but wear your masks, keep your 6-foot distance, enjoy the parade, celebrate the teachers, celebrate the kids, but please, people, stay safe. That's my little PSA for this morning.
Yes, and extra caution. I mean, I won't go into the Spanish flu and all that stuff. I'm trying to be positive today, but
we flipped roles.
I know, it's scary to me. It's scary to me that people think that this is something that I understand the idea that it's a spirit builder, but it's not. It's just not smart. But moving on, Floyd, good to see you.
I heard a tip too, Marty. I heard a tip that pretend it's on everything you touch as well.
Yeah.
So if you pick up a box from the delivery guy, J&H has been great, and as well as my supply house, Granite Group, in delivering and dropping stuff off. So I'm not going inside, and as a plumber, I'm only doing mandatory work. So essential emergencies, that sort of thing. And other than that, I'm quarantined here at home. Sue goes to work every morning. She works next to the hospital and does paperwork for the hospital. So when she leaves, I crawl under the bed in the fetal position. And I hide there until she gets home.
So how's it working with you two being home?
Oh, Marty, it's lovely.
Yeah?
Yes, we're growing as a couple. Actually, it was funny when we got out of school and first got married, we moved to Washington, D.C., and we had no friends at all. And we were in this huge apartment building, and it was a very small apartment because that's all we could afford. And it was just the two of us, and we became close because we had nobody else. So this is kind of like starting over of our marriage. We're stuck in the house alone. So
you have a clip on that?
We do, actually. We have a couple. We've been making these fun videos from the house here, sending them out.
All right.
What's the technique on us showing that? I don't know.
We're gonna go.
That's up to Alex. That's a good clip
right now.
Alex comes in.
So be patient with us.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Sue and I are here from quarantine. Just some tips.
I made us some snacks.
Oh, nice. We're playing games.
Cards.
Yes. We've been watching movies.
Lots of movies.
Lots of movies. And just love each other. Just be so happy together. And we just been having fun.
With each other. The walks.
Oh, the walks outside are great. We're having so much fun.
Doing a lot of FaceTiming with friends and family.
Yeah, we've just been having a great time. This this quarantine thing is pretty simple. Just enjoy the time together.
Hey, that's not the last cookie, is it? Did you?
Huh?
Did you just grab the last cookie?
Yeah, it is. Actually, is the last cookie.
You've eaten all the cookies. That was supposed to be mine.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Floyd, there was 2 packages of frickin' cookies.
No, I had lost count. I got going there, and I had lost count.
I don't have any more left.
Listen, just settle down. We're trying to do a video. Just settle down.
You've eaten all the cookies.
It's not a big deal.
It is a big deal. There aren't any left.
Settle down. I'm trying to do a video.
I just wanted a cookie.
Stop.
No, you stop.
Stop it. We're doing this video.
Well, I wanted a cookie.
Ow! Put it down.
I'm not putting it down.
I am serious.
So am I. Here, take it.
Oh.
It can be a little challenging at times, but we'll get through it. I'm just going to finish this cookie now. Be safe, everyone.
All right, we're on.
Go ahead, Marty.
So, Floyd, I have something for Sue. Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to get them to you. I'm probably going to have to leave them outside if I have to pick them up. But I got some cookies. It's hard to see with my background because of but I got some chocolate chip cookies.
I can see
because
them.
I felt her pain that you ate the last chocolate chip cookie.
The thing is, I'm usually at work all day and I'm not home, and she's home a half a day every day, and we have plenty of snacks. But with me home all day, I don't know how you girls do it, but I am into I don't know. I had like 16 cheese sticks the first day, so I didn't go to the bathroom for like 4 days. My wife's like, why are there wrappers everywhere? What are you doing? We're supposed to be kind of rationing. And if we were rationing in real life, really worried about getting food, we'd have been out of food like a day and a half later with me at home. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
That is one of the adjustments. Is the boredom and boredom eating is amazing. It's just okay. Well,
well, the frying pan also helped me get better with my snacking. The whack to the head, and not making light. Of course, these crazy times. Opioid use is up, and alcohol and domestic violence and all those horrible things because of this. But we were kind of just being on the lighter side and just trying to make people laugh maybe for a minute and distract them.
Well, one of the other things I've seen you've been doing is these social distancing videos, music videos. Those are really fun. I really like those.
Those I take no credit for those. Those are Jeff and Morgan Potter, who bought the gym. And that's the first place I got to go the minute this thing is over, because but they started this thing where they had their group of friends, and they would just write us and say, here's your lines for the song this weekend, sing them and send it back to us. And then she puts it together in the song. And that's I think if you go to YouTube social distancing, there's episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those are 4.
Yeah, they're amazing, and it's not an easy thing to do. I was working with Spanky Payne on one, and that's not easy. It's really difficult to.
She's got it down. I mean, we're sending our lines, and a day later, she's putting up these great videos. So she's got it down. So they're a great distraction from this as well. And I think we wrote her back, and she says, "Are these a pain in the neck, guys?" And we were like, it beats sitting at home crying all day. So
it does. It really does. I mean, it's an important part of getting through this whole thing, is sort of keeping your morale up and feeling good about something. So that's great. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
So you got another video. So who's the director when you guys do these videos? Who's directing them?
Usually I'm directing them, Yeah. And Sue's laughing through the whole thing. And I'm like, stop laughing. We're trying to do a serious fight here. you know, she's slapping me while she's hitting me. But then, you know, what scares me is she almost enjoys the whacking on the head scene. You know, I don't think we needed to do it 16 times. You know, we should have been able to get that in one take.
But she did it really well. I mean, she did it. She got it down after a few takes.
She is, because it's not her thing. I mean, we made her play drums for us, the band, a couple times because we needed a drummer. And she's been around the music for years, and she really can sing really well. But she wants no part of it, no part of the limelight, so to speak. So we're kind of getting her to do stuff she's not comfortable with, but she's doing really well. The drumming, we were amazed at her drumming abilities last week.
So where are we? Do we want to go to another clip, or do we want to go? Oh, wait a minute. We want to go to Marty first and talk about masks and how to properly wear a mask and what things you can do to sort of stay safe.
Okay. So this comes from, I want to make sure I give proper credit. This comes from a user's guide to face masks. It was April 10th edition of the New York Times is where I got this information. So here's what I felt to be an interesting statistic. It's estimated that 25% of people with coronavirus feel perfectly fine and don't know they're, number one, infected and don't know they're contagious. So again, just reminding people to act as if, and that's where the masks actually can come into handy. Even a simple mask, a simple cloth mask, a bandana, is effective at trapping the outgoing germs, because there's both outgoing germs and incoming germs. So you're protecting other people from your outgoing germs if you happen to be one of those 25% that has no symptoms and you don't know you're potentially infecting other people. So I think that's a little bit more about what the masks are about. I think a lot of people are thinking, I'm fine. I don't need this. I don't need to wear a mask. But it's more that you are protecting the other person. You're protecting the person that maybe is at risk or has somebody at home that's at risk. So with that being said, here is the proper way to put on your mask. Again, this is all coming from the user's guide to face masks. So the first thing you want to do is you want to wash your hands. But if you aren't in a space where you can wash your hands, then put a little hand sanitizer on. Just a little dab will do ya. Does anyone remember where that came from?
Brill cream.
Brill cream, a little dab will do you. So wash your hands or put your hand sanitizer on. And then you always want to take your mask and either put it on or remove it using the ear loops. So you put your ear loops on, okay? Then you want to make sure that your mask goes from the bridge of your nose, okay, right down to your chin. So and then it's you want it to be a snug fit and a fashionable fit. I think that's an important thing. It's going to be the new fashion for quite some time. If you have glasses, it does fog your glasses up a little bit. So here are some don'ts that you want to do with your mask. These are things that kind of cheat the mask. The first one's called the holster. So that's the holster. Uh-oh, Mike's got the holster going on.
I'm doing the holster.
Doing the holster. The second one is the flapjack. That's for when you're answering your phone. Now you kind of defeated the purpose because you were, now you got your phone up to your mouth. And then, the last one is the lowrider. That's when you have it below your nose. So it's, so those are things that you don't want to do. You want to have it like that. The nice thing about fabric masks is you can wash them. You just wash them like you throw them in your washing machine, put them in the dryer. You can wash them. I washed mine in my sink last night with just a little bit of antibacterial soap, hung them to dry. If you want an extra level of maybe protection, they suggested that you iron your masks with a hot iron. If anyone even still has irons in their home.
Yeah, that's another one of those things.
That's like something that went by the wayside a little bit. So those are just some tips again. So when you kind of, think about wearing a mask, because I think there's somebody in our audience or in our midst right now who really didn't want to wear a mask. Is that true?
No.
No. Who was
I
that
can't
was
believe.
resistant to wearing a mask?
He's not saying anything.
He's not admitting it.
One of the other things, just to throw in is people were microwaving masks for a while, cloth masks.
Oh.
And one of the things to think about is what I read was if you have the elastic, the microwave will sort of fry that elastic.
Oh, I would imagine, yeah.
So better off to do like Marty said and just wash it. Or Sue has me spraying it with she has an alcohol sanitizer thing that we just spritz it and then go from there. Anyway, who wouldn't wear a mask?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't wear a mask?
Do we have a clip on that?
Yeah.
Do you have any comments, Floyd, before we go to clip?
I fought it the longest at my place, and my wife is just like, and look at me touching below my eye.
There you go.
That's a big no-no too.
You got to get rid of the beard too.
Yeah, the beard's got to be tucked up and put away when I put my mask on. But yeah, I fought the mask as long as I could, and Sue was like, "Are you watching TV?" And then when I started watching TV, so yes, I'm masked. If I go into someone's house, I've got my mask. If I go out, I've got my mask now. Sue's got me squared away with the mask. And Marty touched on it a little, but there's Fauci that speaks to us every night. And what's Deb Bricks or Bratz or the woman?
Yeah, Scarf Lady.
Yeah. And she had said that her mom, when she was 11, brought it home to her grandmother. So Deb's grandmother. So when she was 11, Deb's mom brought it home to her mother, the flu, in 1918 and killed her. And always lived with that. And that's why Deb had said for the millennials to kind of, it would be a tough thing to live with if you did that. It was always hard for her mom. And there was nothing the daughter, she was 11 years old going to school. So there was nothing could have prevented it, but it still was a tough thing to live with. And when I heard that story, then I started wearing my mask. So
good for you.
Something to think about.
All right. We're going to go to a clip. Thank you.
All right.
Now,
make sure you have your mask on.
I do.
No.
Okay, I got it.
No. No. Yes. Much better. There you go. Hey, you don't happen to have a Thor getup, do you?
No. Why?
No reason. Just go.
Sounds like we're back. This is an interesting way of doing a show because we're all like trying to figure out, are we back? Are we on? Are we off? All right. Well, I think we're back though. Floyd, you've done it again.
Yes, our video came out nicely. That was our here, let me shut my office phone off. You know what? I don't know how to shut it off. Oh, wait a minute.
Isn't that your landline?
Yeah, this is my bat cave. See, I'm in the bat cave.
Yeah.
This is, Marty's
don't they just put a signal up on the clouds when they need you?
Marty's got a virtual going on behind her. This is my virtual. You see it? It makes it look like it's a band room, but really this is the grandbaby's room. Here's the pony. This was my backdrop earlier, and with some diapers on the bed. So Alex is like, that's a peculiar cool. Band room. So then I brought this stuff in so I call this my virtual backdrop. When this is over, I got to quickly get this stuff out of this room because Sue won't have a guitar in this room. I got to get this stuff out of here. So yeah, this is my backdrop. But yeah, we did the mask for that reason. So Sue was like, "Hey, you got to start wearing the mask." So we thought that would be kind of a fun way. And someone wrote on the internet, "I understand the mask joke, but why do you have a bunch of costumes?" I'm a little concerned.
Hey, you should have costumes.
You
Costumes
gotta
are
have
very
costumes.
important. You do. So what else is going on in town, Marty? Did you see the article today about the helpers?
I did see the article about Rockingham Help and Helpers, and it was a great article. I believe Susan Small here was the author of the article. And I just want to walk everyone through. Again, I mentioned it last week. I told you about where to go. But so Rockingham Help and Helpers is a grassroots organization made up of a lot of local nonprofits and local folks that just want to help out. They wanted to do something. They saw a need. They've been working diligently since the middle of March, putting together a secondary agency to help assist with people in need, the service agencies that already exist to help people in need, like Parks Place and Our Place and Senior Solutions and Westminster Cares. So it's a secondary level of help because there's going to be an exponential, there already is an exponential amount of people that need help. So Rockingham Help and Helpers was organized. It came out of Sustainable Rockingham program, which came out of the Take Action Rockingham. So if you're interested in either being a volunteer or, more importantly, if you need help, it's really 3 simple steps. Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3. Step number 1, go to the Rockingham Library website, rockinghamlibrary.org. When you come to the home page, that's step 2, you're going to see a big, right in the middle of the page, it says Rockingham Help and Helpers. It's a box. You click on it. It immediately shoots you to their page. On that page, step 3, you have options. There's a donate button if you want to donate money, or if you want to donate food. There's a list of items that are most needed. If you want to take the survey, if you want to be a volunteer and you want to help, you can take the survey as a volunteer, or you can take the survey if you're in need of help. So they have staffed the Waypoint Center. That's where they're gathering food donations and personal care item donations. They're gathering donations for mask making. That's kind of the central hub. The drop-off times are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and then Wednesday evenings from 5 to 6. It's staffed. It's staffed with safety. You drop your items outside. The staff then comes and picks them up, so there's no direct contact. There's the 6 feet of social distancing. And then the pickup time for people to come and pick up is from 11 to 12 weekdays. And again, there's the same type of thing. If someone was in need, they would place their order. The order would be left outside with their name on it. Regarding the food issue, your first line of defense if you're low on food is to go to Our Place. That's the main place. But then if there's secondary things that Our Place is running out of, because Our Place is they're at capacity right now, then you would go to the Waypoint Center. One of the things the group is working on right now, because I have heard, some volunteers haven't been contacted yet, so they're feeling like maybe their help isn't needed. Your help is needed. It's just it's a huge coordination task. Yeah. So one of the things that I just got a post from Laura Sharbarn from Greater Falls Connections, is she's working on Google mapping so that she can map neighborhoods and show neighborhoods where there's need, and then within that neighborhood where there's volunteers, and then can connect so that you're literally helping your neighbor. So it's not like you're having to potentially get in your car and drive, a distance, but if they can connect neighbor to neighbor, that's what they're working on doing. If you have a neighbor that you think might need some help, but a lot of people are, they're kind of shy about that type thing. They don't want to take the survey. They don't want people to know they need help. Then maybe you should reach out to that neighbor, and you should tell that neighbor to give the Rockingham Help and Helpers a call, because someone will help them fill out the survey over the phone. If you call 463-4270, then you can have help filling out the survey over the phone. You don't have to do it on the computer, and everything is kept anonymous. So another helpful thing about Rockingham Help and Helpers is on that secondary page, the Rockingham Help and Helpers page, there's a general information button along the side. So if you want business updates for businesses that are open, closed, how they're operating, where to find food, where to find shelter, what's up with the town of Rockingham, medical, financial, there's a whole list of general information. One of the things I wanted to point out is HCRS is now offering what they're calling a warm line as opposed to a hotline. Normally the hotline is for people in crisis and pretty much just for HCRS clientele. The warm line is for anybody that's feeling overwhelmed, anybody that's feeling anxious. It's staffed by trained HCRS staff. It's 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. The number is 1-800-917-1622. So if you need to reach out, if you need to have some social contact, you need to talk to somebody, then reach out to HCRS's warm line.
Great. That's very good. Thank you, Marty. Good update on everything. So much going on right now. I would like to reinforce the point you made about being patient if you're a volunteer or if you're looking for help. Is just the group is doing amazing work really fast, but it's sort of like trying to build a car while you're driving the car and getting gas and oil and everything else, and the engine's running. It's just crazy busy, and it's hard to do, and it's hard to get the steps in the right place. So they're doing a fantastic job.
They're doing an amazing job, and a huge shout out to everybody. Again, I'm reticent to name names because I'm afraid I'm going to forget somebody, but y'all know who you are, and you are doing an amazing job at navigating something that's unprecedented.
Yes, incredible job. Thank you. So, Alex, there's a lot going on and you're really keeping us informed as far as the meetings are going and what's happening with the schools and the towns. Do you want to just give us a quick update, or do we want to just open this up, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, there's a couple major things that are going on, obviously, because towns are preparing and school boards are preparing for a huge tax for revenue decrease because, obviously because of the economy, because people may not be able to pay their taxes because of money spent for the crisis. So like the Bells Falls Union High School, there was a long discussion about actually cutting the budget, I think right now 15%, and then I think laying off as many or furloughing or as many employees. You watch the meeting to the exact term.
Right.
That got voted down, obviously, because they're still not sure of how this is going to affect them budgetary down the line and how long this is going to last. But it was kind of a close
3 to 4, yeah,
and a long discussion, and they're preparing for the fact that they're going to have to make some drastic changes and some drastic cuts, and so they left that meeting with the that Chris is going to be able to do something, be able to make those changes without effectively make those changes. And then the same thing with Village of Bells Falls. I mean, obviously they're looking ahead and preparing for the worst case scenario of 15 to 20% reduction. And this is kind of like information that's coming from the state too. So, and so then last night's village trustees meeting, they approved a budget to present to the voters, and they also, I think it was like I don't know what the percentage of, but it was a reduced budget for sure. They reduced the staffing for the police department to, I think 8, from 10 to 8 to 7. It was confusing during the meeting. They were confused themselves, but they've reduced that. They terminated Officer Caesar, the K-9,
Yeah.
So that dog is no longer in service. And then they also made promises that they're going to have to start cutting even more, heading into the future. Wendy Harrison, the manager, put in her letter. At a joint board meeting, both boards voted not to renew her contract, which ends on June 30th. And at this meeting, I guess she put in her letter of resignation for May 15th. So
1 month from today, that's the date, because there was some confusion. At least I thought there was, as whether it was.
I went back and watched the video because I was watching it last night, because little do they know, even though that you're doing the Zoom meeting, for me to be able to broadcast that out, I got to tap into your Zoom. I got to put it in through a piece of software, and then I got to export that out. Someone's got to be here to man that. So, and by the way, just so most towns know, we're not charging towns for covering their meetings via Zoom, because we don't have to,
we don't have to pay a contractor.
The $50 is to pay a person to operate the camera and record it. That's it. Everything else is we do here as our organization. And actually, that's a subsidized rate. That doesn't even cover the entire cost of getting everything up. So yes, it's 5:15. That's what it was stated as. Now the audio was kind of crummy. I could have given them some suggestions on how to do that. I think here's a suggestion for them: is they're half the board is in a meeting room, so every board member should have their phone on and have headphones in, and be tapped into Zoom via their phone, so that we can all hear them. But anyway,
everyone can hear. Yeah.
So yeah, and with the manager sidelined, there was some, obviously the manager's sidelined. She's leaving, so I mean, don't. So they're taking the leadership role, and if you watch the meeting, that's, they're kind of operating without a manager. So the last thing that they voted on was voted to approve Deb working with the finance director and the town manager to be able to find ways to cut.
Yeah.
So
this is a really tough time, and I would encourage people to watch these meetings, because whether you agree or disagree with what people are saying, there are some really good conversations and some good discussions and thinking that's going on. I really like the school board meeting, because they are really thinking about this. It's like, we need to keep people employed, because that's good for the economy, that's good for people, that's the kind and good thing to do. But then we need to look at cutting the budget, because people aren't going to be able to afford to pay their property tax. We need to save money. Budgets aren't going to pass. And that the balancing act is really good. And it's something we all need to be thinking about. We're not going back to normal. We're done with that. We're done. That's gone. Forget it. And if you think it's going to go back to where you can go to it's just going to be like, okay, we're done, we're back. That's not going to happen. It's going to be at least a year before we get anywhere toward normal. And even after that, it's going to be such a change that it's going to be unrecognizable. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's and everyone and every person in every town and every organization has to make tough choices and figure things out. I mean, that's what's happening. And it's, that considering the fact that the village and the town have so many things going on top of this crisis, lawsuits and, change in leadership for the village and town manager, an interim police chief because Ron Lake was retired, problems with the police department. I'm not saying that the police officers themselves are bad or anything like that, but obviously over the years it hasn't been managed at the most professional level. But I mean, there's a lot of things, so it's, and then there's not really going to be, it's if anyone wants to get elected to the village, it's going to be really tough to go out there and I mean, you can't if you want to get on a seat. So I'm assuming that the same folks that are on the village board are going to be on, come the election. They may not be challenged.
That's an interesting thing. How do you get a petition signed if you can't Get a petition signed.
Yeah.
You have to do a virtual petitions.
Maybe,
you
I
gotta
don't
check
know.
to see if that's legal, you know? So,
Yeah, that's a whole other thing to think about. But let's not think about that now. Let's think about music. I heard you have some new music coming, Floyd.
I do. We worked on. I mean, everything's got to evolve. I think you guys are explaining that everything's got to evolve, and even the music scene is going to evolve, I would think, and be much different. You know, I was looking at Motley Crue tickets was going to be the tour of the summer. Motley Crue,
Really?
Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett, and I was like, I got to see that at Fenway, and then this all happened. So it made me think, wow, when does that come back to where it was, where we're elbow to elbow wedged into a place with 60,000 people screaming and shouting? So, yeah, it made me think, even at a smaller level. Actually, the governor called my band
To play the inauguration, right?
I'm not done yet. You guys know me too well. Y'all start laughing. I'm telling you, let me start again. The governor called me the other day.
Really?
Yes. And he said, Floyd, can Intercept play parking lots and do only originals to try to avoid large crowds from gathering? Which hurt me a little. I mean, I was kind of happy that the governor called, but again, it hurt a little bit what he was asking for. But we're evolving. This technology's been around, and I have used Skype before, but this is the first time we're conducting songs this way with the band, trying to write. And I thought bands could call in, because this is a great opportunity, your show now, to bands that couldn't come into your studio could do this with their 4 members and join your, even if they did a quick song or a, you know, how they're coping with it, and played a song. This would be really cool. I know Roy Brown put a new project together, and I was looking forward to seeing it. And then, of course, this happened. But I know PKs, we're still trying to support them, because they're kind of like one of the few local where you can see music still. And I know they're doing something. Is it Taco Tuesday?
Yeah, I guess it went really well.
Yeah. So I'd like to support that. And I'm going to get my tacos this week. I'm not positive it's Tuesday. It could be another day.
It is Tuesday.
Sure. Okay, great. So we're going to support that, but we look forward to playing there again. But yeah, this new technology, we're going to have to evolve, I guess. And I worked on a song a while ago, and I was going to play just a verse and a bridge and a chorus, just so you kind of hear it in its early stages. And then in a couple weeks, we should have the video done. But this is kind of the first time we're not using Rob Bridge as like someone, because Rob was recording us and producing us in the studio. So Rob would say, okay, you should do this or should do that, or this needs to be louder. We're not going to get that this time around. So we're going to try to do it from our recording studio here. But so I can kind of play a little bit of it if you guys got a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is how a song, so this would be, you're going to hear the version that I'm sending to my band members. So right off the bat, Jason would get that, and Jason would say, excuse me, Jason would say, okay, is that the way you want me to pick it? And I'd say, nothing like that, but something like that, Jason. and he would be like, okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but amazingly enough, these guys will give it back to me. And so the song would start, saw it on the TV one day, death is coming to us, couldn't believe it, no way, a friend confirmed who I trust. And then I would say, okay, Josh, you're in here with something melodic, a bass line that's melodic. And he's like, what does that mean? And he's like, what key is it in? And I'm like, I don't know what key it's in. Just play something melodic there. How can it be? I wanna be an ending. The war is here, the brave ones are defending. And then I say, okay, everybody gets heavy. You do this, and Jake, do a drum fill like all the other songs, but make sure it's not like any of the other songs. Jake's just like, but the amazing thing, they're all better musicians than me. So when I get this stuff back, it's like, hey, that was easy. So then the chorus. Oh, do you remember? Oh, do you recall the time we lost it all? All the time we lost it all. And of course, that would be the heavy part, and they'll have that part down to a science. I won't even have to say anything there. But that's kind of this new song, the origin. It's starting right here. So that's the early stages. It's got out to the guys. They've got their homework to do, and then we'll see when it comes back in a couple weeks. And we may add it to Dark Days, the CD that Mike's like, is that ever going to happen?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But Dark Days is finished. We got the front and the back is Kirsten. And you might see the new video in a little bit from it and the inside. But the problem, and Stan Rumrell Jr. did the cover art, which we love. You can't see that well, but I'll get you a better picture when it comes out. But because of the name, Dark Days, and the just what we're going through right now, we thought, do we want to release a CD called Dark Days right now? So we kind of put that on hold, and we're going to add this song to it. And I'm not the only musician now. You know, there's everybody's got one of these songs. So it'll be cool when these come, and they're out now too. But it'll be great to listen to these songs. But we're evolving the way we write, and I think it's going to be fun I've seen some performances on this Zoom, and it's really cool.
I got a question for you, Floyd.
Sure.
Do you think that this is a time for musicians and music to kind of go back to the roots and make it more about the music? I've seen a lot of artists doing, one of my favorite bands that we actually have concert tickets to this summer, and I don't know if we're going to get to see, is the Revivalists. They're a band out of Louisiana, New Orleans. And the lead singer of the Revivalists has been doing these acoustic live Facebook, like little mini concerts. And it's just him, stripped back his music. He can, because he's going live, he can see the comments from his fans. Do you think that we're going to have this whole like revelation in music where the music becomes more about the fans and performing and performing for yourself versus I got to put on a show?
Yeah, no, it's going to be back to an intimate setting and the response from the song will be still immediate. You don't have the song, like the cheer at the end of the song kind of lets you know, okay, we nailed it with that one. You're not going to get that, but the responses, you're reading them as you're playing along. But I know I'll miss plenty of people, but the Holloway Boy has put a couple songs on, and it's fun to watch him perform from his, these performances from their computer rooms and their living rooms are so cool. I've seen Steel Rail. I've seen local band Turn It Loose. I've seen one of their members doing a couple songs. So, but not as a group. So the song is different. Now it's that guy's interpretation of the song. So yeah, it's a whole, it's still new to us. We're able to still get together because we're kind of self-quarantined. Josh, my son, is laid off. So he's able to come to our house. If I do a job that is questionable, maybe in a building with a lot of people, then what I'll do is I'll quarantine myself again, and then I wait for another practice.
Yeah.
And Jake's been laid off for a while because he works at the gym up there. Jason is loading trucks and working harder than ever. So our guitar player, so he's quarantined. What we thought is when we got to a point where we felt it safe, we would do a concert in my driveway and go live with everybody where we could be apart and but still be able to play together, because I've been playing music with bands since I was 16 years old, and I'm a year from 60, and that's a long time. So I already miss it, and I know everybody else must miss it too. So I miss that. I miss looking over and seeing the guy play something really cool, and we smile at each other. We're not able to do that right now. So we're looking forward to doing that again and getting back out playing again. But I have to agree, Mike. I think we're a ways from being able to just go back to the way it was, I guess. I should say.
Well, and I don't mean to be a downer, but it's the reality. And one of the things, I actually watched two groups last weekend that were playing in two different towns at the same time, but they had played together. They would normally tour together, and they were doing Zoom and switching back and forth between songs. And like you said, it was the most intimate thing. You could tell they were having difficulty without the feedback from the, and they even said that. They said, this is sort of difficult when I'm just sitting here singing to a computer. But from my experience, they were people I probably never would have seen live. And it was really intimate. It was really like sitting in their living room with them while they played. And then they called it the kitchen table concert. It was really, really cool. One guy was at his kitchen table, and the other two people were in their parlor, and it was just very good. It was nice to watch. But again, it's not live, and it's difficult for them. They have to get tips on PayPal or whatever, and I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I was wondering how this would be, and me and Alex kind of talked yesterday. I missed popping into the station and being able to see you guys and sit next to you and talk before we get started and have a joke and a laugh before we start. So, but this is surprisingly pretty comfortable too, except I was going to do this to you guys. At some point I was going to go. And then I was going to wait for you guys to say, oh, Floyd froze. And then I was going to, no, I didn't freeze. I was just messing with you guys. but this, Alex talked to me yesterday, and then he said Jake was in the hospital. So I want to wish Jake speedy recovery. I hope that's good. But this might be the way you talk to your friends now, and get caught up on what's going on. And it's the way of the future. It's kind of weird, but I think it'll get intimate again because we'll get used to this as being the norm.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not that it's a good norm, but it's a norm that we maybe have to adapt to. Yeah,
and a vaccine might come out soon, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer either. Vaccine might come out or antibodies, and in a couple of weeks this thing could be over and we might be back full bore. But it's going to change things regardless, because we got to look down the road for the next one. So we'll have to get more prepared for the next time around.
That's exactly true. On that, not on that note, but on a different note, don't we have another clip of you of Floyd playing with like a cello player, I heard?
Yes. So we had finished the song with Tim Merton and his wife Jennifer. And that was fun shooting the video. We shot the video with Alan Dater and his wife, our girlfriend. I'm not sure if they're married. Lisa Merton. And Alan had worked on, and I can't say too much because he's a humble guy. Because I was like, oh my God, he worked with Johnny Cash. He traveled with Johnny Cash and did a documentary on Johnny. He worked for a magazine at the time, and I won't say, because I don't know what he wants me to say, but to be around him and hear that, I'd love to go over and have a beer with him and listen to his stories. But so when we did the video, they were doing the drone shots, and Sue and Kirsten were running the camera, and we were set up in a field, and Tim and his wife, of course, they weren't using they were using acoustic cellos.
Mm-hmm.
So this amazing sound with them, because they were pretending we were all lip syncing basically in the field, but they were actually playing. So listening to those two play cellos out in this beautiful field, we were just like, wow, we could sit here all day and listen to those two play. They're amazing. So it was fun, but there was one instance where we were catching things on fire because that's what we do. And we're like, if we could just take your cello and a little bit of fire going up. And Jennifer was like, she looked at her husband, Tim, and she's like, this is from the 1700s. I don't want them near, do not let them near my cello. Get those people back. But we had a great time, and it was totally out of the norm for them. And it was out of the norm for us in the studio. Rob Bridge did a great job because the tuning was a little bit off, and he adjusted stuff, and he put a lot of work into the song, and we have to give him a great shout out. But yeah, the video came out nice, and we left. There's a longer spot in the middle, the beginning, where the music doesn't start, but the drone shots were so neat. We just left them in, and we this is one of the songs that made it on the CD Dark Days.
Great. I don't see Alex, but I'm hoping we can go to...
Alex has left the studio.
I'm hoping we can go to clip here.
Oh, there he is.
No, we're going to clip. Let's end the show on the clip. How does that sound?
You guys have, I just want to say thank you. I miss you guys. Thanks for having me on. And
it was great having you on, Floyd. Come back.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
And thanks for keeping everybody up to date on what's going on. We'll continue to watch the show, and we'll come on as soon as we can again.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's it for the feed. I think we're going out with a music video.